Alright, here's the video review for Robots in Disguise Warrior Class Ratchet. I picked him up the other day when I found the wave with him and Bisque in it, and he looked cool. Now, admittedly, he was packaged in robot mode, which is what sold me on it. Because you'll see here, the vehicle mode is really kind of bland and disappointing. I mean, like, there's very minimal paint. He doesn't look like an ambulance. There's a molded window here that doesn't even have the black paint that this one does. It's just really plain. This panel you can kind of see almost, I can't tell if you can see if that on camera, but it's actually a little yellower than the plastic around it. Now it all has a slightly off yellow, or a yellowish off white. It's not a pure white, but for some reason either it's from a different batch or a weird part of the mix. This one panel almost already looks like it's been in a smoker's house or like just left out to yellow in the sun. It's much yellower than the rest of the body around it, which is kind of disappointing. So yeah, he's got tag-on wheels. He does have storage for his guns here underneath, which is kind of nice. But yeah, very white and pale and just lacking in paint. Really kind of disappointing in vehicle mode. Does roll okay. He transforms this front end especially. He's not an entire straight up repaint of Strong Arm, but he has a lot of very similarities, especially in the way the arms and the upper body work. So you split that. You can go ahead and untab these side panels from the legs and the front and flip those up and get them out of the way. So it kind of looks like that. So bring that up, unpeg this from back here. You can see there the legs. Open those up, split them in half. In fact, it's easier to get the guns out if you split those in half and then kind of rotate them out. And pull them out. These panels flip around and inside. And I thought this was the gun storage in vehicle mode, but it's not. There's actually a separate peg in here, so if you want, you can store the guns here in robot mode, but they're a little wide, so it's not really worth it. But options there if you want it. Again, bring that down and in, flip that up, rotate the lower body around at the waist. The arms, and again, if you've played with Strong Arm, you know how this works. The arms come down. This whole assembly here with the shoulders rotates down. Chest piece flips up. This panel folds up to kind of surround his fist. And you pull the shoulders up to free them up a little bit. And this piece flips up onto his back. And there's also storage back here for his weapons as well, if you want to store them in robot mode. And they fit a little better there. I think they look a little better facing up. It kind of gives him what appears to be a couple of little vents behind his head, if you have him facing up in front. Just a couple little nubs back here, but you don't have to do it. I love his head sculpt. His head sculpt's great. And like I said, he was packaged in robot mode. And his robot mode is actually pretty decent. Simple, but what paint apps are there make him pop a little better. I like the stripes on the legs, and if it was just a matter of wanting to make the robot mode look better, fair enough. I do feel like he could be a little more expressive and dynamic in vehicle mode, certainly. You can kind of fold these in or wing them out like wings if you want. These are a little annoying. I do wish there was a better way for place for these panels to store. Or at least be a little smaller so they tucked away, but just from the front you can kind of fold them straight back so you don't see them, although they do stick off his back. But yeah, he's got a really cool head sculpt. I do really like his head sculpt. Very expressive. He's kind of sour-faced. So his robot mode's not bad. I do wish, like I said, I do wish the paint were better in vehicle mode. I've said that too many times, I'm going to shut up. So anyway, but his head's on a ball joint. You can look up and around. He's got the hinge here as well as a ball joint up in the shoulder, which is a little limited in the way that these shoulder pieces interact with his backpack piece, but it is there. A hinge where the silver part meets the white part here, as well as a hinge here at the actual elbow. The waist swivel, ball joint hips, and then hinge knees, and he does have a thigh swivel there as well. Although you can see that one I just wiggled it out, but it is there. And then no articulation in the feet. And since Robots in Disguise is technically, I believe, a continuation of Prime, Here's a quick look at him just to give you an idea. Let's pop this up. Here he is with his Prime counterpart, Ratchet. So a little bulkier, a little taller, obviously way less detail. Although, granted, this one has a sticker set on it. I think a repro label set. So he does have a lot more detail than you would expect on even the Prime Deluxes. But yeah. Just to give you an idea of how those two molds look together. So yeah, there he is. Robots in Disguise, Warrior Class, Ratchet.